The Candle by John F. Daly. Interior and exterior Earth, dawn 600 BC. The Earth, seen from space as the sun begins to appear from behind it, zooming in on Earth all the way till where we see mountains of rock, then farther still to where there's a cave with a purple mystical glowing light inside it. The sun is seen coming up on the horizon, but the sand from the land starts blowing into a raging storm and blocks most of the light. Two dogs are shown starting to viciously fight. The wind of the storm gets louder, along with the growl of the dogs as they tear into each other with their teeth. The sound of both the dogs and the sandstorm get increasingly louder, almost overbearing. An extremely bright white flash of light comes from the cave. Then light begins to come from the heavens and breaks cracks into the storm, and colors of bright yellow and orange seemingly weave through it, slow it down and stop it. The dogs stop fighting, and the wind slows to a calm breeze. The sun rises above the horizon, and the light in the cave turns to shadow. The dogs are shown walking their separate ways as birds fly across the sky. A large area of desert is shown in a time-lapse sequence revealing a Middle Eastern city being built through the years. Exterior Israel, day, centuries later. Spanning back onto the cave, we see men going in and coming out with wooden buckets. Armed men guard the area as they work. The men place the filled buckets on a horse-drawn wagon. Interior, a king's fortress, day. Men are lined up bare-chested and on their knees, while women rub oils from the wooden buckets on their fronts and backs. Next to the men are their upper garments and weapons for battle. The king.
You men have an extra advantage that Israel has never had before. Now fight this battle with all your will.
Exterior battlefield, day, later. Men with shields and swords rush at each other in battle. Their swords clang as they strike each other's armor. Grunts and groans come from the men as they swing their swords at each other with all their might. Two men, away from the others, are shown swinging and jabbing at each other's armor in an attempt to find a weak spot to penetrate for the kill. One swings his sword and the other dodges it, then jabs his up under the other's armpit, causing him to fall to the ground in pain. As the one soldier lays on the ground, the other stands over him and stabs him in the neck, causing blood to spatter. The soldier standing starts to walk away, and from behind him we see the wounded one get up again. He turns and sees him coming at him. With a shocked expression, he tries to deflect the attack, but can't as the other's sword penetrates his neck, instantly killing him. Exterior battlefield, later. Hundreds of dead soldiers lay on the ground as others walk away covered in blood. Some soldiers fall to the ground and their spirits can be seen rising up into air away from their bodies in a mystical blurry glow. More and more of them fall to the ground as the sky begins to become saturated with souls of the departed. Unclear from a slight echo, voices can be heard speaking as the spirits rise up into the heavens. Exterior, the king's fortress, later. The king stands before many blood-covered soldiers. The king.
We remain thanks to you, brave men. Our kingdom has survived, and we stand free to continue with our families and our temple. Thank you again for your loyalty and strength.
Exterior, the Michaelian Sanctuary, Italy, day, 333 AD. A man, the thief, late 20s, rides a horse at full speed out the gate of a beautiful church. He has a large filled pouch strapped onto the back of his saddle. Three men, late 20s, run out of the church after him to get a glimpse of what way he went. Another man, a Praetorian guard, late 20s, on a horse, comes out of the gate. The three men point to show him the direction the other rode off to. He then rides off after him. Inside the church, the three men, Alfano, Coraggio, Isnard, walk back in the entrance and up to a guard, 30, who greets them. Guard.
Emperor Constantine will want to know how this happened.
Alfano.
We're sorry, sir. He must have known exactly where he was going. He was in and out so fast that we didn't have a chance to stop him.
Well, let's go see the Emperor.
The guard gestures them to follow him, and they all walk to the Emperor's chamber. Interior Emperor's chamber, moments later. Emperor Constantine, 61, stands looking out the window when his door is knocked upon. Emperor Constantine.
Come.
The door opens and the guard, along with the three men, walk in. The Emperor turns to them. Guard.
Sir, we have news you might be concerned over.
I've been told. You men don't realize the importance of what has been taken, do you?
Coraggio.
Wasn't it a health oil for wounds, sir?
It was much, much more than that. That oil was made up of the very essence of God's great angels, a miraculous form of divine energy that penetrates one's soul to keep strength and vitality beyond the normal body's length of time here on earth.
All the men have a slightly surprised look on their faces. Alphino.
Sir?
You heard me. That was the last of what was originally found in Israel centuries ago. We kept it to have more time with our rulers. To keep the old men here longer so they can make important decisions when they would be normally deteriorating with health problems. It was also for our soldiers so they could withstand attacks and keep our freedom through the worst cases of battle.
The men just look at each other.
You better all hope that we can retrieve it from whoever stole it. It is of utmost importance. Now leave me.
All the men leave the room, outside.
I told you he was not going to take it well. You men better hope it is found.
The guard walks away. Isnard also starts walking away in the other direction.
Isnard, where are you going? We should at least talk of a plan, maybe set a search ourselves.
Isnard.
I don't know about you, but I don't think he's in his right mind. You men don't really believe he's speaking the truth, do you?
Well, why would you take a chance? He's the Emperor. He could make our lives hell if he wanted to. We better at least act as if we're concerned.
Isnard walks back to the other two.
All right, we'll have to borrow horses? Then what? Just head off into the sunset? We're supposed to be taking care of the temple.
Alphino starts walking back to the Emperor's chamber and gestures them to follow him.
We know which way he went. The Emperor will give us horses to at least go over the hill into town and ask around. We'll be back before sunset.
The other two look at each other, then follow him. Exterior, the town of Sosthenian later. The three men ride horses at a slow pace as they glance around the town. Then the horse of the Praetorian Guard is shown half hidden behind a building. Garagio, pointing at the horse.
Look over there.
Alphano.
All right, let's see what he has found. Let's dismount and walk over.
They dismount and tie their horses up on the post nearby. As they walk closer to the building, you can hear people talking inside. They peek in the side window and see the Praetorian Guard standing next to the thief. Both are holding some of the clay jars of oil that were stolen. Some of the oil is spattered on the floor. On the three beds are a woman, late 70s, a man, late 60s, and another man, around 80. All of them have no upper garments on. Beside them is a woman rubbing the oil on them. The men look at each other, and Alphino makes a gesture to enter. The other two nod yes. They quickly open the door and enter the room. Everyone in the room looks. To the Praetorian Guard.
What are you doing, sir?
Alphino then looks at the old man in the bed. Pointing at the old man.
Him.
Alphino then looks at the guard again.
He's part of the polity. The punishment for this will be extensive.
Praetorian Guard.
You don't understand. They plan to fight for what's right, not the other way around. They make all the important decisions. We have to keep them alive.
You'll have to be reported.
The officer pulls his sword.
You won't live to do that.
Isnard.
All of this is insane.
Isnard pulls the torch out of the torch holder on the wall and throws it at the Praetorian Guard. Flames start to spread rapidly, trailing over to the people in bed and catching them on fire. The Praetorian Guard on fire falls to the ground screaming, while the three people in bed, along with the woman applying the oil, also scream.
Snard, good God, man.
The three seem to try and help in some way, but the flames spread too fast and they leave the room to escape. Outside, all three men stand watching the building go up in flames with helpless expressions on their faces. Then the door opens and all three people that were in the beds walk out still on fire. Alphino, Garagio, and Isnard seem paralyzed in fear. The woman falls to the ground, then the 80-yo man falls to the ground, but the man in his 60s starts running after them before falling to the ground as well.
Oh my God.
People from all directions start running over to the site. A view from above shows hazy light slipping out of the burning bodies and rising up towards us. Slight details of the victims' faces can be made out in the lights as they get closer. Interior Kristen Bergman's house, morning 1975. Bedroom, a woman, Kristen Bergman, brown hair, 35, wakes up from an obvious nightmare. Kristen Bergman, trying to catch her breath.
Oh my God.
She sits up on the side of the bed and takes a moment to calm herself, then gets up. Kitchen. She pours tea from a teapot into a cup, then puts the pot back on the stove and picks up the phone on the counter and dials a number. On phone.
Madeline? I had another one of those dreams. Yeah, it was pretty bad. I really think someone's trying to get through to me.
She takes a sip of the tea.
There were people burning to death. One was still moving, walking. It also seemed like it was probably centuries ago. I noticed their garments. And there were men standing there just watching. It was horrible.
Kristen turns and goes to look out the window, stretching the phone cord.
Yeah. I have readings throughout today, though. I do want to go over these. They're getting stronger. Saturday 2 p.m. sounds good. All right, see you then. Bye.
Kristen's reading room. Later, Kristen sits at a table with another woman, Margaret Sooner, 69.
Now place your hands in mine, and I'll get a sense of your energy.
Kristen has her hands on the table facing up, and Margaret places hers in them. A close-up of Kristen's face with her eyes closed shows a vision starting to appear.
An older woman is appearing. She's saying hello. She's wearing an orange and green gown.
Margaret Sooner.
That's my grandmother. She always used to wear that gown.
You were very close to her. She took care of you.
Kristen takes a moment to concentrate.
She says she was proud to have raised you after your mother passed.
Crying.
Yes, she was wonderful.
You didn't really get to know your mother? She was sick.
She had a brain tumor, cancer. I don't remember her when she was healthy.
Your grandmother keeps singing a song. She says that you sung it so beautifully when you were little. A song from Christmas time.
Margaret slightly chuckles.
The first Noel, I used to sing the first Noel.
30 minutes later, Kristen shows Margaret to the door.
That was amazing. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. You have a beautiful day now.
Kristen closes the door. Interior bedroom night, dream sequence montage. A. As a mist starts to clear, an image starts to appear of a king, obviously from centuries ago, speaking to soldiers. The king.
You men have an extra advantage that Israel has never had before. Now fight this battle with all your will.
B. Men, also from a very early era, stand before an emperor as he speaks to them. Emperor.
You heard me. That was the last of what was originally found in Israel centuries ago.
C. A very young Margaret singing the first Noel to her grandmother. Margaret Sooner. Singing.
Noel, 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 born is the King of Israel.
D. Hundreds of dead soldiers lay on the ground as others walk away covered in blood. E. A door opens and 3 people on fire walk out. One falls to the ground, then another, but the third starts running after men who are just standing there watching. End dream sequence montage. Kristen suddenly wakes up covered in sweat. Interior Madeline Hendricks Private Clinic, Saturday. Dr. Madeline Hendricks, 50, sits in a chair across from Kristen. Dr. Madeline Hendricks.
So you're seeing some of these people multiple times in these dreams?
Kristen Bergman.
Yes, I can almost hear them speaking, but I'm not able to pick up a lot of what they're actually saying. Except for the king I saw in the last dream. He seemed to be preparing soldiers for war or something.
Kristen shakes her head no, like she's a little overwhelmed from what she's been experiencing, then looks at Madeline as if she remembered something else.
Israel. I remember the word Israel in different parts or sections of the dreams.
The country Israel?
Yes, a king to his soldiers in Israel, and an emperor or someone was talking about something from Israel.
Kristen stops talking like she's trying to remember something else.
Oh, and a woman I gave a reading to. As a young girl, she sang the first Noel to her grandmother at Christmas.
Born is the King of Israel.
Kristen slowly shakes her head yes.
Kristen, I've known you a while now. You know I believe in your abilities. You're the one who changed my beliefs about psychic phenomenon. So I would say that maybe you might consider taking a trip.
To Israel?
Well, you've been having these same type of intense dreams now for some time. If you ask me, I'd say there's a connection somewhere. You know that.
Kristen puts her hand up to her mouth.
Yes, but it's just so far to go for an answer. I've never investigated my own experiences.
You know the answers. You don't need my professional opinion. You come to me as a friend. And this friend is telling you what you already know is true. All of this will lead you in the right direction. All you have to do is go with your intuition, make the first move, and it will take you to where you have to go to get the answers you're looking for.
Interior United Airlines Flight 247, day. Kristen sits looking out the window of the airplane, while the pilot makes an announcement on the intercom. Pilot.
Ladies and gentlemen, our first scheduled landing at Ben Gurion has been changed due to an incident that occurred at the airport. However, we are cleared to land at Jerusalem International. Until further information is available, everyone will have a complimentary overnight stay. We're very sorry for the inconvenience, and we hope this can make up for it.
Everyone on the plane starts talking to each other like they're upset over the news, while Kristen starts to smile. Interior Jerusalem Airport later. Kristen, along with other passengers, walk off the plane and into the open airport area where stores and some food courts are. As Kristen walks past some pamphlets on a rack, she stops to look at one that advertises a small tour of Jerusalem. She then takes one and puts it in her purse. Interior hotel later. Kristen stands at the hotel check-in counter signing in. She pulls the pamphlet out of her purse. Kristen Bergman, showing the counter worker.
Is this tour still available?
Counter worker.
Why, yes, last tour is...
Looks at his watch.
In an hour.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Interior and exterior Jerusalem tour bus later. Kristen, along with several other people, ride on an open-air tour bus observing the ancient buildings all around. Kristen looks out the window while the tour bus driver announces an attraction. Tour bus driver.
On your right is the Temple Mount. The Temple Mount is the holiest site in Judaism and is where two Jewish temples once stood. According to Jewish tradition and scripture, the first temple was built by King Solomon, the son of King David, in 957 BC.
Kristen looks at the structure of the Temple Mount with its golden dome and brick walls as the bus then stops.
We have an archaeology expedition going on here now, and it has been part of the tour for the last 7 days. Everybody is welcome to observe some of the findings that have been found here. Please board back on the bus within 20 minutes. Thank you.
Mostly everyone, including Kristen, walk off the bus to see the exhibit. Kristen walks past some glass-covered stands with artifacts. While most of them are just old, some are cleaned up and quite beautiful. As she continues to observe the exhibit, she gets to the end of the line, and an exhibit worker, Charlie Ray Hill, 39, speaks. Charlie Ray Hill.
I hope you enjoyed seeing some of our findings, ma'am.
Kristen looks up from the last showcase table and sees who's speaking. Kristen Bergman. Very surprised.
Oh my God, Charlie, what on earth?
Surprised as well.
Oh my God, my favorite cousin. I didn't even realize it was you. What are you doing here?
It's a long story. What about you? Is this the excavation thing that you mentioned a few years ago?
Yes, we're on this one for 6 more days. Are you here long?
People in line are going around Kristen to leave while she's talking.
No, just overnight, actually. We were supposed to land at Ben Gurion.
Where were you going to?
Like I said, it's a long story. Nowhere in particular. Wherever. Just sightseeing.
Aha. Well, maybe you can extend your stay here. I could show you around and you can tell me the full story.
I wink. Smiling.
Yes, I'd like that.
Exterior excavation site next day. Charlie drives a noisy Jeep with Kristen in the passenger seat, then stops and turns off the vehicle to show her a site. Charlie Ray Hill.
This is the area we're currently exploring. It doesn't look like much, but we found things from 2,000 years ago here.
Kristen looks around with a curious expression on her face. Charlie looks at her for a second, then leans forward to start the vehicle and move on.
Let me show you some things that you'll be more interested in.
Kristen puts her hand on Charlie's hand, stopping him from turning the key. Charlie just looks at her. Kristen Bergman.
There's something here.
Charlie sits back again.
What's that?
There's something here.
You're getting one of those feelings, aren't you?
Kristen slowly turns her head, scanning the area like she's trying to pick something up on radar. Pointing.
Oh, yes! Can we walk through that area over there?
Looking at Kristen.
Always trusted that thing you have.
Charlie hops out of the Jeep first, then Kristen, and they walk towards the area Kristen pointed to. As they stand next to each other, facing an open area, Kristen points down.
Right here. I have an intense feeling of something extremely meaningful.
Can you tell me in what way it's meaningful? I mean, there's nothing in the chart about this specific area. If I requested to dig here, I'd have to give a reasonable explanation as to why this particular area should be excavated.
Kristen looks at Charlie with almost a desperate expression on her face.
I'm absolutely sure, Charlie. This is why I'm here. Something down deep. Something that I've been chosen to find. Answers to the visions I've told you about.
I'll think of something.
Charlie squats down and swipes up some sand in his hand and lets it run through his fingers. Interior hotel, morning. Kristen sleeps in her hotel room when a door is heard being knocked on. She opens her eyes, slowly moves to the side of the bed, gets up and puts her nightrobe on. She opens the door with the chain lock on it and sees it's Charlie. She then takes the chain off and lets him in. Charlie Ray Hill?
I've got approval.
Kristen Bergman. Surprised look.
Oh?
Seems that some of the sand had more remains of the Temple Mount.
Kristen looks at Charlie like she's making sure he's telling the truth.
It did. Of course, we don't know how it got there, but...
Shrugging shoulders. Exterior new excavation site. Next day. Men stand around a huge hole in the ground. Some are digging with shovels while others are getting excavator machinery ready. One man that is shoveling, Steve Stanek, 30 with a cigarette in his mouth, stops shoveling and starts coughing uncontrollably. The cigarette falls out of his mouth. Another man, Joe, 29, who is looking over a bulldozer, watches Stanek cough and leans over to speak to another man, Marcus, 27. 20. Joe.
Unbelievable. Why the hell is he still working and smoking at that?
Marcus.
Maybe he just wants something to do until,
Interior and exterior excavation site trailer day. Charlie and Kristen sit at a table with a drafting diagram of the site. Charlie Rayhill.
We're dealing with a lot of rock to get through, so I have to tell you that digging more than 20 feet is just about impossible.
Kristen Bergman.
Well, let's hope that's enough then.
Outside, dust fills the air and the noisy sound of digging is heard as men use jackhammers and bulldozers to excavate the area. Interior hotel lounge, evening. Kristen and Charlie sit at a table with food and drinks. Charlie Rayhill.
I remember when you used to steal cigarettes from your dad's upper cabinet, and then you got caught.
Laugh. Kristen Bergman.
Yeah, well, that was a short-lived adventure. He beat my butt, and I was grounded for a week.
Charlie shows a slight smile.
You think you'd kind of have a knowing of what was going to happen. Did you have that gift back then?
It wasn't developed enough back then.
That's amazing, what brought you here, though. I really hoped we would have found something by now, but the chances are looking rather slim that anything more than rock could be down there.
Kristen has a disappointed expression on her face as she looks down at the floor. Exterior new excavation site, dawn. The first worker of the morning comes out of his trailer with a coffee in his hand. He looks around at the piles of rocks and sand that reflect the orange and red color of the sun coming up. He continues to turn in the direction of the new site that the crew is currently working on. He sees something that leaves him with a shocked expression on his face. Red roses have grown out of the piles of rock that surround the massive hole that has been dug. Later, Charlie, Kristen, and several others are gathered around the mysterious occurrence. Charlie squats down close to one of the rocks, which has 4 bright red roses on it. Charlie Rayhill, touching a rose.
How in the world has this flower grown out of this? And especially overnight. I'd say it was some kind of joke someone was playing, but it's actually inside the rock.
He pulls it and breaks the stem from the rock.
Yep, part of it is inside the rock.
Charlie turns to one of the workers.
These are the same rocks that were here yesterday, right?
The worker.
Yes, of course. Someone would need a vehicle to move them, and we didn't hear a thing last night. Besides, no one could get through the surrounding fence.
Charlie stands back up and walks over to Kristen. To Kristen.
I don't want to say you have something here, but...
Charlie takes in one more view of the huge pile of rocks with roses growing out of them, then turns to Kristen again and shrugs his shoulders.
We'll certainly examine everything here.
Interior Jerusalem Airport, next day. Charlie and Kristen hug at the gate for her flight. Charlie Rayhill.
Can't tell you how good it was to see my favorite cousin again. And sooner than the usual 5-year interval at that.
Kristen smiles.
I'll call you if I find out anything.
Charlie hugs Kristen again. Then as he keeps his hands on her shoulders, he stands back to look at her again.
My God, you are something, though. There's more than one reason I call you my favorite cousin.
Charlie takes his hands off of Kristen. She then picks up her suitcase, smiles, and waves goodbye as she boards the plane. Interior excavation testing site, next day. Joe, Marcus, and Steve Stanek, among other men, use chisels on the rocks found with roses on them. Charlie Rahill. To the men.
Take one rock that you cut and put it on the flames.
Men start bringing their samples over and placing them on an iron grate that sits over welding torch flames. Steve Stanek, very pale, starts coughing again. His breathing makes a gurgling sound as he places the chopped half of rock on the flames. The other men place their rocks on the grate, then look over at Stanek, who is just staring at the heated rock he put down. Fumes begin to rise up from the rock as Stanek quiets and becomes peaceful-looking. He has not only stopped coughing, but his complexion has changed to a healthy color, and his eyes seem to have a lot more life in them. Steve Stanek.
I've come to realize that my faults are but a portion of my downfall. A man is given the options that he is given for a reason.
Joe and Marcus look perplexed.
Misguidance is still a part of the journey. Even the wrong decisions lead to the right orchestration of the final plan.
Joe.
Stanek, are you all right?
I'm finally able to see the truth.
The two men still look confused. Interior Rahill's office in testing site. Later. Joe and Marcus stand in front of Rahill, who is leaning on his office desk. Charlie Rahill?
Well, how much of those fumes did he breathe?
Joe.
He stood there for about 5 minutes.
Marcus.
Yeah, then he started saying things, wild things like options in life and orchestration of a person's path. I don't know, but it wasn't like him, that's for sure.
Is he still out there?
He's in the back.
Signaling bring him in.
Go get him.
Minutes later, the office door opens and Marcus and Steve Stanek walk in.
You feeling all right, Steve?
Steve Stanek.
Incredible.
Charlie nods yes, then points out the window. Counterworker.
Joe, go get the doc.
Joe nods yes and goes out the door. To Stanek.
Steve, we're just going to make sure you're okay. You breathed in quite a bit of the fumes from that rock you put down. We can't be sure what we're working with here.
Stanek very calmly nods yes. The door opens again and Joe and Dr. Jones, 50, walk in.
Doc, Steve here was around some of the specimens we heat tested and breathed quite a bit in. We'd like you to just check him out a bit.
Dr. Jones. Signaling Stanek.
Let's just have a seat over here and we'll have a look.
Stanek sits down and the doctor shines a light in his eyes, then up his nose.
Open up and say, ah!
Stanek opens his mouth and the doctor checks his throat out. He takes his stethoscope out of his coat and starts listening to his breathing. While listening,
take some deep breaths.
Stanek takes a deep breath and exhales over and over without coughing. The doctor puts his stethoscope back in his pocket and walks over to Charlie.
Isn't this the guy who has emphysema?
Charlie nods yes.
Well, he's healthier than an ox. As a matter of fact, from what I see, he's probably the healthiest person I've examined here.
Charlie looks surprised.
I'd like to do more tests when we can. This is extremely interesting.
Yeah, I'll say.
Intercut, Kristen's house excavation site, next day. Kristen unpacks her suitcase and starts putting some cloths in a laundry basket when the phone rings. She answers. Kristen Bergman.
Charlie, just unpacking. The flight was fine. What?
Interior excavation site lab, continuous. Charlie Rahill. On phone with Kristen.
The doctor said he wants to do more testing, but we all saw it. He's like a new person. Those rocks, they're actually hardened oil, and I really think it has some sort of healing effect. I don't know. My God, it's kind of mind-blowing.
Someone wearing a hard hat comes in and signals Charlie to come outside.
I've got to go. I'll call you in the morning, okay?
Charlie hangs up the phone. Kristen's house. Kristen looks like she's in deep thought as she hangs up the phone. Interior, the Clemens residence, Odessa, Florida, present day. Bedroom, Michelle Clemens, 32, blonde hair, slim, takes clothes from one of the many boxes sitting on her bed and puts them in a drawer of her dresser. Lisa Clemens, 12, blonde hair, comes running in with a stuffed teddy bear. Lisa Clemens.
Look, Mom, I found this in the closet.
Michelle Clemens.
Cute. Well, tough luck for the last owners. It's yours now.
Smiling, Lisa hugs the bear.
Hey, darling, you know why I love you?
Lisa takes the bear away from her face.
Why? Just look at ya.
Smiling, Lisa chuckles. A man, Matt Clemens, 38, tall, muscular, short brown hair, peeks in the doorway. Matt Clemens.
I think we've worked enough around here for now. What do you say we go out and have a nice dinner?
Michelle puts her hand on her hip.
Well, handsome. Does that mean you're taking us out?
Yes, beautiful. As a matter of fact, it does.
Interior upscale restaurant, later. Michelle, Lisa, and Matt walk into the restaurant, and a big long line of people are waiting to be seated. Michelle has a doubtful expression on her face, while Matt looks around like he's searching for someone. Matt Clemens. To Michelle.
Don't worry, I've got this covered. I'll be right back.
Matt goes over to a man, Jim Kraler, 59, standing in the doorway of an office. They seem to be talking about something. He then starts walking back with him to the hostess. Matt points to Michelle and Lisa, who are still standing near the entrance. He then waves them towards him. The hostess leads them to a table. As they're sitting down, Michelle looks at Matt. Michelle Clemens.
So what did you say to get us this table so fast?
Well, let's just say it's one of the fringe benefits of being a police officer.
An hour later, napkins are crumbled up on the table, and Michelle, Matt, and Lisa's dinner plates are empty. To Lisa.
You want some desert, baby?
Lisa shakes her head with enthusiasm. To Matt.
I was thinking about bringing Lisa to the beach tomorrow.
Sure, we're going to be pretty busy soon when I pick up all the supplies. Get it in while you can.
I'm so happy we moved here. No more cold, beautiful sunsets.
Matt smiles, then looks around for the waitress.
So where is the damn waitress? I mean, I haven't seen her in about 15 minutes.
To Matt.
I think I'll stick with the beige for my office.
Matt stands up like he's a little angry.
I'm gonna find her. This is ridiculous.
He then walks over to the kitchen, inside kitchen. Matt walks in the kitchen and over to where there's cooks and waitresses working. To a waitress.
I'm looking for our waitress. She hasn't even stepped foot in our vicinity in the last 20 minutes.
Waitress.
Where are you sitting?
Near the back wall.
Pointing.
Oh, that's Margie. She went home sick.
Oh, she did she? Well, why the hell didn't they get someone else to take her place? And maybe tell us something?
The waitress looks as though she doesn't have anything to say. Matt storms off out of the kitchen and to the office he was in before. In office, he opens the door abruptly and Jim Kraler, sitting at his desk, looks surprised. Jim Kraler.
Matt, is there anything else I can do for you?
Yeah, you can keep your waitresses serving people. We haven't seen ours in 25 minutes. I looked into it and found out she went home.
Well, we'll get you a waitress then.
No. How about you take your bill and shove it up your ass? Our little girl wanted some desert, but we don't have all damn night, so just call this a freebie.
We can't do that, Matt. We let you ahead of the line as a favor. Isn't that good enough?
Kraler, I got so much on you with the business you deal with here. I can easily turn you in for all the shit you got away with.
Matt picks up an empty pitcher sitting on a table and throws it at Kraler, who dodges it. Matt storms out of the office. Back at table, Matt walks up. To Michelle and Lisa.
Come on, we're out of here.
Michelle stands up and grabs her purse, then gets Lisa to stand up. To Matt.
Don't we have to pay?
No, it's a freebie to make up for the bad service.
Michelle looks worried as she continues to walk with Lisa behind Matt, who leads the way. Exterior Clearwater Beach, Florida, next day. It's a beautiful day with sunshine and blue skies. Michelle and Lisa collect shells off the beach. Lisa Clemens. Holding a shell.
Mom, look at this one.
Michelle, who's a few feet away, goes over to look at the odd-shaped shell Lisa holds in her hand. Michelle Clemens. Also holding a shell.
That's cool. Look at this one. It's got spots.
Lisa's face looks excited.
Pretty.
You know what? Since you didn't get your ice cream yesterday, what do you say we get some now?
Lisa looks excited while Michelle looks up the beach, then back at Lisa.
If we walk back now, I think we'll still have time to eat some at the ice cream shop I saw when we parked.
Lisa hugs her mom.
I love you so much.
They turn around and start walking back. To her mom,
Hey, Mom, you know why I love you?
Michelle looks at Lisa with a smile.
Why?
Just look at you.
They both laugh and continue walking. Exterior FL Highway 589, day. Matt drives his police car behind another car. Inside car, Matt gets on his radio. Matt Clemens.
I've got a 1029V in front of me.
Officer on radio, voiceover.
Roger, 10-0.
10-4.
Matt switches on his police lights and the car in front of him pulls to the side of the road. He gets out of his police car and starts walking towards the other vehicle. His hand is on his gun as he gets closer. Matt stops walking about 10 feet from behind the driver's side open window. The silhouette of the person in the car can be seen reaching to get something out of the glove box. Matt pulls his gun out and points it toward the driver's side, shouting,
"Step out of the vehicle with your hands on your head."
The driver's side door starts to open while Matt keeps his aim. Suddenly, the driver of the vehicle, with a gun in his hand, lunges out of the car and rolls on the ground, turns toward Matt and shoots. Matt returns fire and hits the driver in the shoulder, making him drop his gun and fall to the ground in pain. Matt looks down at his own leg, which is now bleeding all over his pant leg. Still holding his gun, he walks over to the driver who lies on the ground holding his shoulder.
"Turn over, I'm cuffing you."
The man doesn't react.
"Turn over, you piece of garbage."
The man still doesn't react. Matt gets really angry and kicks the man in his side, then bends down and with one hand grabs him by the arm and pulls him up to stand. Still pointing his gun at the man, he forces him to walk over to the police car, then pushes him so he's face down on the hood. Matt puts his gun back in his holster, then takes his cuffs off of his belt and cuffs the man's hands behind his back. He then guides him over to the back of the police car, opens the door and pushes him in. As he closes the back door, he looks over at the man's gun that still lies on the cement. Making a sigh, he then takes a pen out of his pocket, goes over to the gun and scoops it up off the ground by the trigger loop. Interior and exterior the Clemens residence, later. Michelle and Lisa walk in the front door. Michelle puts her purse and sweater on the chair, then walks over to the message machine where the light is blinking. She pushes the button to listen. Dr. Schieffer, voiceover. On message machine,
Mrs. Clemens, this is Dr. Schieffer at St. Joseph's Hospital. Your husband is fine, but he's been shot in the leg. We had to do surgery. He's in recovery, but still sedated. If you want to call the hospital.
Michelle grabs a notepad and pen sitting by the phone. Dr. Schieffer. On message machine,
The number is 813-442-7000. Again, he'll be fine, but he'll need to be here a little while for observation. Talk to you soon. Take care.
Michelle looks at Lisa, who is sitting on the sofa. Michelle Clemens.
Did you hear that? Your father has been shot. He's in the hospital. You all right, baby?
Lisa looks kind of out of it. Lisa Clemens.
Yeah, I just got really tired.
Probably the sun and the walk on the beach, along with you not sleeping well lately.
Michelle then picks up the phone and punches in a number. On phone.
Hi, this is Michelle Clemens. I was told to call Dr. Schieffer about my husband, Matt Clemens. Okay. Room 482. Okay, I'll be up. Thank you.
Michelle ends the call. To Lisa.
Do you want to go see your dad? He's awake now.
I'm really tired, Mom.
All right. Well, I'm going to go visit him. It does seem like he's going to be okay, though. I'll just tell him that you needed to rest a bit.
Michelle grabs her purse and sweater off the chair and walks toward the door. To Lisa.
Why don't you put your jammies on and crawl into bed? A nap will probably do the trick.
Lisa gives a smile and Michelle walks out the door. Outside. Michelle walks down her driveway to get in her car when she looks over and sees some people trying to comfort the next-door neighbor Emily Harrington, 33, who is crying hysterically. Michelle's expression turns to sadness as she gets in her car. Interior and exterior St. Joseph S. Hospital later. Michelle walks in Matt's room where he lays in bed with a bandaged leg. Michelle Clemens. To Matt.
Hey.
Matt Clemens.
Hey.
Doctor says you're going to be just fine.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good now, that's for sure.
Michelle raises her head, trying to understand.
These meds.
Slight smile.
Pretty good, huh?
I just want to get out of here.
What happened?
Just a lunatic on the run. Just so happened he knew how to handle a gun. Ex-cop.
Michelle raises her eyebrows.
Where's Lisa?
She was exhausted from our beach excursion.
She was more exhausted than you? She's 12.
She hasn't been sleeping that well.
Clara Clemens. From doorway.
Any room for one more?
Matt looks, and Michelle turns her head to look at the woman Clara Clemens, 39, in the doorway.
Hi, Clara.
Clara walks over to Matt's side.
Thanks be to our wonderful Lord that you didn't leave us early. I prayed that you would be shielded from these horrible things that can happen in your profession. If you two would go to the Lord's house once in a while, there would be a lot more protection around you.
Michelle looks down at the tattoo on Clara's arm of a skeleton, crossbones, and American flag. To Clara,
thanks, sis, but we don't need any lecturing right now.
Then Dr. Schiefer, 52, walks in the room carrying a clipboard with paperwork. Dr. Schiefer.
Well, hi, folks. My name's Dr. Schiefer.
Waving her hand slightly.
Hi, Doctor. I'm Matt's wife, Michelle.
The doctor looks at Clara.
I'm Matt's sister, Clara.
Nice to meet you all. I just wanted to go over a few things about what we've done on Matt here and what to expect with the ongoing healing process.
The doctor flips through a few pages on his clipboard. Looking at his notes.
We've done some significant work, surgery-wise, on that leg of yours. That bullet you took caused some nerve damage. Now, I know you had a lot of adrenaline going while doing your job, but walking on the leg after being shot wasn't the best thing for it. We had to reattach a lot of your tendons and even reconstruct some muscle. So, needless to say, you won't be working for a while. At least not doing anything physical.
When can I go home?
Probably in a few days. Like I said, there's been some nerve damage, so it's going to be quite painful. We had to prescribe some pretty strong pain medication till it heals more.
Interior, the Clemens residence, 2 days later. Michelle opens the front door, then brings in Matt in a wheelchair. Lisa comes out of the side room. Lisa Clemens.
Hi, Daddy.
Matt Clemens.
There she is, my princess.
Lisa hugs her father.
Mommy says you might be in that for a while.
Oh, she did she? Well, we'll see.
Michelle Clemens.
Lisa, can you go get Daddy's slippers out of the closet? I'm sure he'd much rather wear them than what the hospital gave him.
Sure.
Lisa runs to a room in the back of the house and then comes running back with his slippers. Michelle pulls off the hospital slippers from Matt's feet and puts on the slippers Lisa brought him. She then gives him a crutch that has been hooked to the back of his wheelchair. She guides him as he stands up with the crutch under his arm. In pain.
Damn.
The pain medication must be wearing off. Sit back down. I have an idea.
Matt eases himself back into the wheelchair.
Let's get some food in you, and then we can give you a little bit more for the pain.
Michelle wheels him into the dining room. She takes a chair away from the dining room table and wheels Matt up to the table.
I'll be right back. I'm going to heat up some of the lasagna I made last night.
Michelle leaves to go in the kitchen. She enters the kitchen to find Lisa taking a cookie out of a jar on the counter.
Hey, you little devil. Hand that cookie over.
Laugh. Lisa tries to get away with the cookie and Michelle catches her and puts her arms around her.
Hand it over.
Lisa laughs. Michelle lets go.
Okay, if you want to spoil your appetite. You said you liked the lasagna we had. I'm heating some up for your father. It would be nice if you joined him.
Okay.
Lisa puts the cookie back in the jar, then walks into the dining room. She sits at the dining room table across from her father. To Lisa.
Hey, princess.
Michelle comes into the room with 2 plates of lasagna. She puts a plate in front of Lisa and then one for Matt.
Aren't you having some, Mommy?
No, I'm sorry, honey. I had a late lunch right before I picked your father up.
Matt smiles slightly, then cuts a piece of the lasagna and puts it in his mouth. Chewing.
It's good.
Lisa looks at her father, who shows a sign of pain on his face. To her father.
I'm sorry.
What are you sorry for?
That you are in pain.
Matt chews his food and swallows it so he can talk.
I'll be all right. Don't want my little girl to feel sorry. Not even bullets can keep your father down, okay?
Lisa takes a bite of her food and stares at her father as she chews. Other room. Michelle takes linens out of the hallway closet, closes the door, and starts walking the other way when she looks in Lisa's bedroom. Different styled candles are lined up on Lisa's dresser. A few have dripped wax on the wood of the dresser. Dining room. To her father,
Are you going to go back out in your patrol car again?
Well, yeah, Lisa, that's my job.
Can't you do something else with the police?
Michelle walks back in. To Michelle,
Hey, I think I've eaten enough. Where are those painkillers? I could really use them about now.
I'll get them in a second. Lisa, what did I tell you about keeping the wax off of the wood on your dresser?
Sorry, Mom.
Michelle leaves the room and Lisa takes another bite of her lasagna. Matt takes one more bite of his, then drops the fork as an expression of pain shows again on his face. Michelle comes back in the room with the prescription bottle of pain medication.
Here you go.
Interior, the Clemens residence, morning, 3 weeks later. Matt comes out of the bedroom in his police uniform. Michelle Clemens.
Well, there's my handsome policeman, all healed and ready for action again.
Matt smiles and goes into the bathroom. He opens the medicine cabinet and takes the medication bottle out, opens it and pours the last 2 pills out into his hand. He then looks in the empty bottle with a slightly worried face. Lisa's bedroom. Michelle peeks in Lisa's room and sees her still sleeping in her bed under the covers. She walks over to Lisa's bed and shakes Lisa lightly.
Lisa, baby, you going to school today?
Lisa rolls over with her eyes still half closed. Lisa Clemens.
I don't feel good.
What's wrong? You didn't sleep well again?
I feel funny. Kind of sick. I don't want to go, Mom.
All right. If you don't feel better by the end of the day, I'll get you an appointment with Dr. Boyle.
Interior police station later. Matt comes in the door and walks past a few people working at desks. Man at desk?
There he is. How you doing, buddy?
Matt gives him a thumbs up as he walks past. Interior, the Clemens residence later. Michelle's office. Michelle walks into her office and just takes in the view. Beige-colored walls, a desk with a computer and phone, a few shelves with pictures and a big side window with several trees in view. She walks over and sits at her desk, turns on the computer and starts working on things. A clock on the wall shows 8:45 a.m. Then the clock shows 1:57 p.m. and the sunlight shines in the window from a different angle. Michelle is still working on her computer when Lisa walks in her office. Michelle notices her standing there with sweat on her face. Michelle Clemens.
Lisa, baby, are you all right?
Michelle gets up and puts her hands on Lisa's shoulders to talk with her. Eye to eye.
Let's go see Dr. Boyle.
Exterior intersection at red light day. Matt's police car sits behind another car at the intersection. Inside police car. Matt looks at the license plate of the vehicle in front of him and punches in a few things on his computer. He then throws on his police car lights and gets out of the car. He stares at the back window of the car in front of him for a few seconds, like he's remembering the last encounter. He then walks to the driver's side window of the car and the driver, male 28, puts down the window. Matt Clemens. To driver.
Do you know why I stopped you, sir?
Driver.
No, I don't.
Because your tag has expired.
Oh, well, it didn't come in the mail yet.
Can I have your license and registration, please?
Yeah.
The driver quickly reaches over to the glove compartment. Matt then opens his door, grabs the man, pulls him out of his car, and starts beating him. Punching him several times in the face, Matt then seems to realize what he's doing and stops. As the man just lays on the ground, still shaken up, Matt goes over to the passenger side of the vehicle, opens the door, then opens the glove compartment. He reaches in the glove compartment and only finds papers, which he then sifts through. He opens up one paper, that's the registration. Interior medical clinic day. Michelle sits with Lisa in the waiting room. Lisa still has sweat on her face. Michelle reaches over and gently moves Lisa's hair back off of her forehead where it was sticking from the sweat. A door opens and a nurse comes out. Nurse.
Lisa Clemens?
Michelle and Lisa stand up and walk towards the nurse.
Hi, Lisa. And Mrs. Clemens?
Michelle nods yes.
If you'll follow me, please.
The nurse walks down a hallway with Michelle and Lisa behind her. They come to a patient room on their right. The nurse opens the door for them and they all go in. Patient room.
Lisa, why don't you have a seat over here?
Gesturing towards a chair, Lisa sits in the chair. The nurse puts a blood pressure cuff on Lisa's arm and turns it on. To Michelle.
Now, what seems to be the problem?
Michelle Clemens.
She's been really fatigued the last month, and now she's sweating and feeling nauseous.
The nurse waits for the blood pressure reading.
Her blood pressure is a little low.
The nurse turns to the computer and types in a few things. She then gets a thermometer from the counter, unwraps it, and then puts it under Lisa's tongue. Seconds pass, thermometer beeps, and the nurse takes it and looks at it. Looking at thermometer.
Temperature is normal.
The nurse turns to the computer and types a few more things.
Dr. Boyle will be right in.
The nurse then leaves the room and closes the door behind her. Michelle turns to Lisa and brushes some hair off her face with a few fingers.
You feeling a little better?
Lisa nods her head yes.
Probably just a bug. There's all kinds of viruses going around. You watch, I bet that's what the doctor says.
A knock on the door is heard, then Dr. Boyle, 52, walks in with a clipboard. Dr. Boyle.
Well, it's good to see you again, Michelle, Lisa.
The doctor flips through a few pages on his clipboard.
So you're having bouts of the sweats, huh? Are you dizzy at all?
Lisa Clemens.
Sometimes.
He then takes his stethoscope and gets ready to listen to Lisa's breathing. Listening.
Take some deep breaths in, again, and one more time.
Dr. Boyle puts the stethoscope back around his neck.
Well, there is a little congestion, and I hear a slight murmur.
Couldn't it be just a bug or something?
Shaking head, yes.
Could be, but I'd like to do a blood test just to check a few things.
Interior Police Station Day. The police captain, 48, sits at his desk with Matt standing in front of him. Police captain. To Matt.
There was no choice, Matt. We know you've been through a lot. That's why you're not being terminated at this time. But we can't have you beating the tar out of innocent citizens. You'll be under suspension until the case is fully reviewed.
Matt Clemens.
Come on, Captain, without pay? How am I supposed to take care of my family and pay my bills?
The captain raises his eyebrows and puts his hand out. Matt then slams his badge down on the captain's desk. Interior and exterior Michelle's car, later. As Michelle drives, she keeps looking over at Lisa, who sits in the passenger seat staring out the window. Michelle Clemens.
You still aren't sweating. You look a little bit better all the time.
Smile. Michelle looks over at the public store on her left and then turns into the parking lot.
I'm just going to get a few things for you, in case you need them. Maybe grab something fast for us to eat tonight, too.
Michelle parks the car, then turns towards Lisa.
You are okay with me going in real quick, right?
Lisa nods yes, Michelle nods yes, reassured, gets out of the car and goes in the store. In store. Michelle grabs a hand shopping basket and proceeds to walk to the medicine aisle, where a woman, Anne Marie, 35, stands looking at cold medicine on the shelf.
Hi, Anne.
As Anne Marie is reaching for some cold medicine, she turns toward Michelle. Anne Marie.
Hi, neighbor.
Michelle looks at what medicine Anne has her hands on.
You too? My little girl might have something also.
Putting the cold medicine in her basket.
So, what have you been up to? I haven't seen you much at all. Well, since that first week you moved in, actually.
Just working in my new office.
Wish I could work from home.
Michelle puts some Tylenol in her basket.
Hey, I don't mean to be nosy, but do you know what was going on over at... What was her name? Emily?
Emily Harrington.
Yes, a few weeks ago. She was out front of her house crying hysterically. I felt so sorry for her.
Her son died. He had cancer.
Michelle's eyes begin to tear up. Back at car. Michelle gets back in the car.
I got you some Tylenol, and we have chicken nuggets with mac and cheese for dinner. Okay?
Lisa smiles. Interior and exterior Matt Clemens SUV day. Matt pulls up in the driveway, gets out of the car, and slams the door shut. He then walks into the house. Interior and exterior Michelle's car, moments later. Michelle and Lisa pull up into the driveway. Michelle Clemens.
I wonder why Daddy's home so early.
Michelle grabs the grocery bags and they both get out of the car. Interior, the Clemens residence, continuous. Michelle and Lisa walk in the house to find Matt standing in the middle of the living room on his cell phone. Matt Clemens. On phone.
I told you what the hell I was doing. Why don't you listen to me?
Matt ends the call, puts the cell phone in his pocket, and acknowledges Michelle and Lisa in the room. Michelle Clemens.
You're home early. Everything okay?
No, I'm not okay. I've got suspended.
Why?
'Cause I was dealing with another idiot.
Michelle gestures Lisa to go to her room, and Lisa leaves.
How long?
I don't know. It's under investigation.
Well, you probably needed more time anyway.
Matt just looks at Michelle, and Michelle stares back.
Oh, no. You didn't get suspended without pay, did you?
Matt turns the other way, almost acting embarrassed.
Matt, what are we going to do? I'm not even established with my business. We need your income.
We'll figure it out.
Michelle's face begins to show frustration.
We'll figure it out. What are you talking about? What if they decide to terminate you?
Michelle gets right up to Matt's face.
What happened, really?
Matt backhands Michelle across the face.
I told you. I was dealing with another idiot.
Matt storms out the door and slams it shut behind him. Outside in driveway. Matt gets in the SUV, starts it, and revs the engine. He then shoves it in reverse, and the tires chirp from him being heavy on the gas pedal. As he backs out into the street, he then shoves it into drive and spins the tires as he leaves. Inside the house, Michelle sits on the floor crying while holding her face where Matt hit her. Lisa peeks out from her room and sees her mom sitting on the floor, then runs out and hugs her. Interior and exterior Matt Clemens' SUV later. Matt looks at houses as he drives down a street, then acts as though he's found what he's looking for by pulling over in front of one. He gets out of the SUV and walks up to the door of the house. He rings the doorbell. A woman, Elena Bradford, 32, attractive, answers the door. Elena Bradford.
Wow, didn't think I'd see you again.
Matt Clemens.
Yeah, well, I was thinking about you.
Oh, yeah?
She gestures Matt to come in, inside. Elena gets real close to Matt as though she's about to kiss him.
I did miss you.
Well, I missed you as well, and I have whatever you need.
Smile. Matt smiles. Interior the Clemens residence, morning. Bedroom. Michelle wakes up, turns on her back as if she's thinking things over. A bruise can be seen on the side of her face where Matt hit her. After a few seconds, she gets out of bed, puts on her robe, and goes to Lisa's room. Lisa's room. As Lisa sleeps, Michelle pulls the bedspread up over her farther. Michelle Clemens. Whispering.
Love you.
She walks out and down the hallway, then notices Matt sleeping on the couch in the den. She walks in. The den. She just looks at him. He looks as though he's sleeping in an awkward position, like he has passed out rather than just fallen asleep. Then she notices a call silently coming through on his cell phone that sits on the coffee table. The caller's name comes up as Elena Bradford. Intercut. Michelle's office, doctor's office, later. Michelle types on the computer when her cell phone rings. She picks it up off her desk and answers it. On phone?
Hello?
Dr. Boyle. On phone.
Michelle, Dr. Boyle, I've received the results of Lisa's blood tests. I'd like to schedule another test at your earliest convenience.
What did you find?
Her red blood cell count is quite low. Now, it could be a number of things, but I'd like to rule out a few just to be sure.
Michelle has a worried look on her face as she holds the cell phone up to her ear. Interior and exterior the Clemens residence, moments later. Michelle walks out of her office and down the hallway. She looks in the den and Matt is not there anymore. She walks over and looks out the window. Matt's SUV is gone. Lisa's room. Michelle peeks in at her daughter, who is awake now and has sweat on her face again. Michelle Clemens.
Oh, baby.
She gets closer to her.
We have another doctor's appointment tomorrow. Dr. Boyle wants to do some more tests. We have to find out exactly what's wrong so we can get you better. Okay?
Lisa nods yes.
Let me get you some more Tylenol. It's been a while.
30 minutes later. Michelle peeks in Lisa's room to see Lisa sleeping. She then goes out into the living room. The doorbell rings and she walks over and looks through the peephole. A female police officer, Liz Kennedy, 37, stands in uniform holding paperwork. Michelle opens the door. Liz Kennedy.
Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Liz.
I wanted to deliver this in person. I'm afraid it's some bad news for Matt. I don't see his SUV here, but I certainly trust you with it.
Liz gives Michelle the paperwork.
Matt has been terminated. He's been cleared of charges, but still has this misconduct to deal with on his employment record. I'm sorry, Michelle.
Michelle's eyes start to tear up, and Liz puts her hand on her shoulder.
You deserve better, Michelle.
Michelle starts crying, and Liz hugs her. While crying,
He hit me again, Liz.
Still hugging Michelle.
I was hoping that was all behind you. Do you want to press charges?
They stop hugging, and Michelle sniffles while shaking her head no.
I think he's back on drugs. I saw Elena Bradford's name on his cell phone when it rang.
Now there's one spoiled girl, and if it wasn't for her daddy's money, she'd be serving some serious time.
I'm worried, Liz. Financially. I mean, if he leaves again.
Are there any savings?
Just Lisa's college fund, but I wouldn't want to dip into that.
We'll figure something out.
Liz points her finger at Michelle, indicating she's serious.
But if he lays one hand on you again?
Interior Clinical Medical Lab next day. Michelle and Lisa sit waiting to be called in to see the doctor. Lisa is pale with dark circles under her eyes. A nurse, 31, comes out to them. Clinic nurse.
Hi, Lisa. You want to come with me?
Lisa stands up, and the nurse puts her arms around her back to guide her.
Mrs. Clemens will talk to you shortly. We're going to do a few tests now. Don't worry, she's in good hands.
A clock on the wall shows 11:32 a.m. The same clock then shows 12:40 p.m., and Dr. Boyle comes out to speak with Michelle. Dr. Boyle.
Hi, Michelle. We did the test we wanted to do, but Lisa's vital signs are not satisfactory in my book. We feel there's something more going on with her, and we really would like to speed up the diagnostics. I'd like to admit her in the hospital.
Michelle's face shows extreme worry. Michelle Clemens.
Well, what do you suspect is wrong with her?
I've got to be perfectly honest with you, Michelle. We're thinking it might be a form of cancer, so we want to get her in and give her every chance possible to be helped.
Michelle puts her hand over her mouth in shock. Intercut, Elena Bradford's house, hospital, later. Matt lays in bed when his cell phone that's sitting on the nightstand next to him rings. He picks it up and fumbles to hit the right button to answer. Matt Clemens. Slurring speech?
Yeah, Matt here.
I don't know where you are, but your daughter's in the hospital and may have a serious condition.
Matt looks at his phone like he's not sure who he's talking to.
What, Michelle?
Matt looks at his phone again, then puts it on the nightstand and lays back down. Michelle looks at her phone, then puts it back up to her ear.
Did you hear me? You bastard.
She then puts the phone in her purse, walks back to a seat in the waiting room, and begins to cry. 2 hours later, a doctor, Dr. Therian, 52, comes out to speak with Michelle. Dr. Therian.
Mrs. Clemens, would you come with me to go over what we've diagnosed?
Michelle stands up and walks with the doctor into a private room. The doctor gestures Michelle to have a seat at a table with him. As they sit at the table, Dr. Therian opens a records report folder with paperwork and x-rays.
I'm afraid I don't have very good news. I'm going to be straight up with you. We've found a type of cancer.
Michelle puts her hand over her mouth.
We've found a blood form called AML, acute myeloid leukemia. It's rare in children Lisa's age, but it does happen. We usually can treat this if it's caught in its early stages, and we would consider it with your daughter if we hadn't found that it spread to her organs.
Michelle's eyes fill with tears, and she starts to act disorientated from shock. The doctor then goes over and hugs her with one arm around her. While hugging Michelle,
I'm so sorry, Mrs. Clemens. You're certainly entitled to a second opinion if you want it.
He stops hugging her, then puts his one hand on her shoulder and the other on the table as he speaks to her face to face.
These are the very best doctors, though.
Michelle cries out loud as she tries to get words out.
Are you saying my daughter's going to die?
She might have a month, maybe 2, but I doubt it. It seems to have spread more rapidly than any case we've seen. It's affected too many vital organs.
Screaming out loud.
Oh my God!
Michelle slams her hand on the table, then puts her head down in her arms on the table and cries.
She can be kept comfortable with medication and can go home. If you can arrange a room for a nurse to stay with you, we have home assistance plans available.
Interior and exterior, the Clemens residence, next day. A van with hospital assistance written on the side pulls up in the driveway. Matt's SUV is still not there. In the front seats of the van are two men, late 20s, dressed in hospital-type work uniforms. In the back seat is a very tired, worn-out Michelle. The two men in the front get out, and one of them, Assistant 1, opens the side door for Michelle, while the other, Assistant 2, opens the back door and starts taking out medical equipment. Inside house. The front door opens. Michelle and the two men, one with a vital sign monitor on wheels, the other with oxygen tanks, walk in. Michelle points them to Lisa's room. Lisa's room. Michelle stands to the side of the room watching. Assistant 2 rolls the vital sign monitor over to the side of Lisa's bed and starts hooking things up. Assistant 1 brings an oxygen tank over to the side of the bed and notices several candles on the nightstand and dresser. Assistant 1. To Michelle?
Now she won't need oxygen all the time. Generally, only when she sleeps for the night. That's when she'll be in her deepest state of sleep, but she'll be monitored. Make sure any flame is put out when a tank is in the room. The nurse will be here, though. She'll go over everything.
Assistant 1 starts bringing the tank back out of the room. Carrying tank.
We'll just keep this out here for now.
The doorbell is heard. Michelle walks out of the room to the front door. Looking through the peephole, she sees a slightly overweight woman, Marcia Garrett, 40, short dark hair. Michelle opens the door. Marcia Garrett.
Michelle?
Michelle nods yes.
I'm Marcia Garrett, your nurse.
Michelle Clemens. Somber voice.
Yes, come in.
As Marcia comes through the door into the living room, the two men walk out of the bedroom to Michelle.
We've hooked up everything in the room. Your daughter should be here soon. Is there anything else we can do for you, Mrs. Clemens?
Michelle slightly shakes her head no. Assistant 1 then walks over and picks up his medical duffel bag off the floor. To Michelle.
You take care, Mrs. Clemens.
Assistant 2. Slight wave to Michelle.
Take care.
They then walk out the door. Michelle gestures Marcia to follow her. To Marcia.
I'll show you where you'll be sleeping.
Outside, a hospital patient van pulls up into the driveway. The patient driver, male, 34, gets out, goes around the side of the van, opens the door, and unfolds a wheelchair ramp. Inside house. The doorbell rings and Michelle walks quickly over, looks through the peephole, and excitedly opens the door. The patient driver stands behind Lisa, who sits in a wheelchair, looking tired but happy to be home. To Lisa.
Hi, baby.
Michelle holds the door open as Lisa is wheeled in, then goes over and kisses Lisa on the forehead. To Lisa.
You feel okay to eat something?
Lisa Clemens.
I'm just so tired, Mom. I just want to lay down.
Patient driver. To Michelle.
The meds she's on. They're making her a little extra drowsy. I'm sure a little nap will help.
Marcia then comes out of the room and up to Lisa, bends over facing her and extends her hand to greet her. Lightly shaking her hand.
Hi, Lisa. I'm Marcia. I'm your nurse. I'll be staying with you.
Lisa nods yes with a very tired expression, but also like she's trying to be appreciative. To Marcia.
I guess you can take it from here.
He lets go of Lisa's wheelchair.
Bye, Lisa. You take care, Mrs. Clemens. If there's anything you need, just call the number we gave you. Marcia, have a good day.
The driver goes out the door and Marcia wheels Lisa into the bedroom. Interior and exterior, the Clemens residence, 3 weeks later. Lisa's room. Lisa lays in her bed hooked to a vital sign monitor. Her breaths are shallow and her face is pale with dark circles under her eyes. With a very sad face, Michelle sits by her side in a chair near the bed. Marcia comes in and puts a few bottles of prescription medication on the top of Lisa's headboard, then checks over the wire connections to Lisa's monitor. She just looks at Michelle with a sorrowful expression. Marcia Garrett. To Michelle.
Why don't you step out of the house for a while? It will be good for you. She'll be sleeping now for a little while anyway. Everything is being monitored and she's currently stable. If there's any changes, I'll contact you immediately.
Michelle nods yes, gets up and slowly makes her way to the bedroom door. She looks back at her daughter with the saddest face, then leaves the room, outside. She walks out of her house and sits on one of the 2 chairs on the porch. Her neighbor, Emily Harrington, 33, walks over to her. Emily Harrington.
If there's anything I can do for you, please let me know.
Michelle Clemens.
Thanks.
Emily sits next to her.
We never really got to know each other, but I went through the same thing you're going through.
Oh, that's right. Your son. I heard about that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, it's like living it again, knowing you're going through it. I feel for you, really.
Both women look up and see a postal truck stop in front of the house. The driver, 25, gets out of the truck and starts walking up to them carrying a small package box. The driver.
Excuse me, but are either of you Mrs. Clemens? Michelle Clemens?
Michelle raises her hand slightly.
Can you sign for this package, please?
Michelle takes his tablet and signs for it. He then gives her the package.
Have a nice day.
He starts walking toward his truck again, while Michelle looks at the brown package in her hands. The sender's address is in a foreign language.
I wonder what it is.
I don't know. Looks like it's from another country. I'm kind of scared.
Should be all right. It's from a legitimate courier service.
Michelle peels the tape off the top of the package, opens the top, removes some bubble wrap, and pulls out a gold-plated cylinder. She then starts pulling on the top of the cylinder.
Looks like it has a lid.
She pulls off the lid, pulls out some packing paper, and takes a beautiful candle out of the cylinder.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Must have been ordered by someone that knows Lisa. She loves candles.
Michelle starts crying and Emily puts her arms around her to comfort her.
They have beautiful candles at my church, but I've never seen a candle that beautiful.
Michelle's expression changes slightly to anger.
I haven't gone to church in years. I think I've lost my faith. What God would give me the life I've had? My husband beat me, left us. My daughter is dying right before my eyes.
Michelle starts crying again and Emily hugs her tighter.
I just wish I could have more time with her.
Michelle begins to get up and Emily lets go of her and stands up also.
Remember, if there's anything I can do, just let me know.
Michelle nods yes, waves goodbye, and heads into the house. Interior, Lisa's bedroom, the Clemens house. Next day. Michelle wakes up from sleeping in the chair next to Lisa's bed. Lisa is partly awake, but so weak that she can hardly keep her eyes open. Michelle sees that she's awake and moves closer to her side. Michelle Clemens.
Hi, baby.
Lisa acknowledges her mom's words with a slight smile. Michelle then picks up the candle on the table and brings it closer to Lisa's bed.
Look what someone got you. Isn't it beautiful? I don't know who ordered it for you, but they must know how much you love candles.
Michelle turns to the closest table, places the candle on it, and looks in a drawer for something to light it. She pulls a lighter out of the drawer and lights the candle.
Oh, doesn't it smell wonderful?
Lisa just stares at it.
I'll be right back, baby. I'm just going to get a plate to put under the candle. Hold on.
Michelle leaves the room. Kitchen. Michelle searches the cabinet for a plate, pulling a plate out.
Oh, perfect.
Michelle heads back into the bedroom to find Lisa sitting up and much more alert. Her facial skin color is normal. Michelle's expression is between joy and shock.
Baby?
Lisa Clemens?
Mom, we need to have a talk.
Michelle still has a slightly shocked expression on her face. Hesitantly.
About what, baby?
Marcia, the nurse, then walks into the room with fresh linens, sees Lisa sitting up and drops the linens. Marcia Garrett.
Lisa, you okay?
She walks over to her monitor, checks a few things, then backs up to take in the sight of Lisa's improved condition. Lisa just looks at her calmly.
Marcia, may I have some time with my mom, please?
Marcia and Michelle both look at each other, hesitantly.
Sure, Lisa. I'll be in the utility room arranging some things.
Marcia slowly starts to leave, looking at Lisa again before going out the door.
Mom, you know I love you, right? So I've been asked to be an interpreter and want to convey a message to you.
Hesitantly.
Okay, who are you interpreting for?
Someone who exists in the higher planes and is aware of our infinite existence.
Michelle looks slightly worried.
Baby, I'm concerned. You aren't making sense to me.
That's exactly what I want to do. Clear some things up for you.
Michelle drags the chair over closer to Lisa's bedside and sits in it.
I can't believe you're so alert, but you still have me a little confused.
I'm not scared, Mom. I'm safe, and want to let you know that.
You're safe from what?
You know?
Michelle just looks at Lisa, slightly shakes her head no, and shrugs her shoulders.
You're speaking like you're an older person. You don't seem like you. Are you playing with me? I'm very happy that you feel good enough to do so. But Lisa, come on now. You were almost in a coma not long ago. I'm not up for games. I'm worried.
I'm with him. He's with me. He's helping me speak, Mom. It's a very intense feeling to share existence with him. There's nothing to worry about.
Michelle acts a little angry, like she's being played with.
All right, Lisa. Who's he?
Lisa calmly looks at her mom.
Michael. His name is Michael.
Michael, ha. Michael who?
The protector, the guide. He shows you the way. He's my friend, Mom.
Marcia comes back in the room with an oxygen container. She puts it down and walks over to Lisa's candle.
I'm sorry, but I want to get Lisa's oxygen set up for tonight. I hope you don't mind.
Marcia wets her thumb and finger with her mouth and pinches the candle out. Very weak voice again.
The candle. Need the candle.
Marcia and Michelle look at Lisa, who falls back again on her pillow and is now weak and hardly able to stay conscious. The vital sign monitor starts beeping and now shows red critical condition warnings on it.
Lisa! Baby!
Michelle quickly gets closer to Lisa to try and help her. Marcia checks her monitor.
I don't understand. Her vital signs have deteriorated drastically.
Well, do something.
I don't know of anything that would have made a difference with her condition in the first place.
Michelle looks at the candle.
The candle?
The candle?
Light the candle again.
What?
Just do it.
Marcia picks up the lighter on the table and lights the candle. Marcia looks extremely confused while Michelle puts her hand up to her mouth like she's biting her nails while looking at Lisa. Lisa slowly starts to become alert again, while Marcia keeps looking back and forth between her and the vital signs on her monitor. Michelle, still biting her nails, shows a sign of relief with a slight smile. The monitor stops beeping with warnings and returns to normal vital sign numbers.
I've never seen such a thing.
Michelle points to herself, then Lisa, indicating she wants some time with Lisa again. Marcia nods yes, looking at Lisa in awe, then leaves the room. To Lisa...
Okay, I'm listening. Please tell me more. This Michael, why is he here?
First, let me explain something, Mom. We never die. We're infinite beings, no beginning and no end. We're extensions of the only real source. We come here in the physical to advance ourselves, to become a brighter light by learning and growing.
Michelle starts crying. Crying.
You're taking my little girl, aren't you? I don't understand. She's just a baby.
Michelle stops crying for a moment. Sternly,
why?
We're here to complete the sequence. It's all perfectly orchestrated. Full comprehension is beyond the physical. It lies only in our return to source.
Michelle just looks at Lisa.
Source?
God.
God. Why would God do such a thing? God? It's been said that religion is all about control, for manipulating, about power, money. I've come to believe that.
In the physical, there is no perfection. It can happen. Religion is only as perfect as the people who practice it. Follow your intuition. Everybody has it. It's rooted in that still small voice you hear, the whisper. You have to take the time to listen. You'll know whether you're on the right path by how you feel.
Feel?
Yes. Emotions are energy. That's what everything is made of. You're rooted in your energy. A lower planed person's energy can sometimes keep them from ever being truly happy. Thus, they are stuck in the dark.
Outside the room, Marcia has her ear up to the door with an expression of amazement on her face. Inside room.
God, the source of everything, is the most powerful and brightest energy possible. The more you focus on keeping yourself in a positive thought pattern, the more you'll align yourself up with his energy. You'll be at peace.
Michelle starts tearing up again.
Lisa, I haven't had you long enough. You're my baby. I love you so much. I can't stand the fact of not seeing you again.
Michelle sniffles, and as tears roll down her cheeks, she wipes them off with her arm.
I'm around you always. I always have been. Michael is giving me glimpses I can see myself when I was a toddler, when you were teaching me how to walk. I can see everything, Mom. Everything everywhere.
Michelle looks confused as the tears still roll down her cheeks.
What are you talking about?
I am feeling that time is only here, Mom, in the physical. The source of everything, God, is not time-bound.
Michelle just looks at Lisa as though she's exhausted from the conversation.
So what are you saying? Everything is happening at once?
Lisa smiles. Fade in hours later. To Lisa.
So you're saying that you can see God?
I am part of the light we are all made of. The veil is being lifted. Everything is familiar again.
The candle is shown almost burned down to the plate underneath it.
Where's my daughter? Is she still here?
Lisa looks at her mom for a few seconds. Slow-speaking, weak voice.
Hey, Mom, you know why I love you?
Michelle just looks at Lisa as tears begin to build up in her eyes again. Crying.
Why?
Very slow and weak.
Just look at you.
Interior Lisa's bedroom, the Clemens house. Days later. A span of the room shows pictures of Lisa and Michelle on the dresser, the night table, and hanging on the wall. A box of tissues sits on the chair. The bed is empty and the candle is burnt all the way down to the plate underneath it. Exterior, the backyard, the Clemens house, day. Michelle sits scrunched up in a chair with tear-filled eyes and looks up at the trees slowly swaying in the wind. Exterior ending montage with dialogue. Days. Kristen Bergman voiceover. Old woman's voice.
Steve Stanek stayed alive for quite some time.
Flashback 1975. Steve Stanek climbs up a rope as a doctor times him with a stopwatch. Kristen Bergman voiceover.
He was used for experimental testing, a patient for research. That was when the oils were plentiful and all in one place.
Flashback 1975. Steve Stanek sits across from three men at a table. The men have clipboards and seem like they are writing down things after Steve answers them. Kristen Bergman voiceover.
The wisdom and spiritual presence the researchers experienced was incredible. New ways of thinking were unavoidable.
Kristen Bergman voiceover.
Because once you experience that type of energy, nothing else will ever be more influential on your life. Your old ways of thinking are obsolete.
Back to present day. A view high above a suburban neighborhood zooming in on Suburban Street. A postal truck pulls over to the side of the street and a man with a box gets out and walks up to a house. Kristen Bergman voiceover.
I knew that knowledge had to be spread out, particularly to the ones that had to go through the dreadful pain of losing a loved one.
A view high above a city zooming in on City Street. A postal truck pulls over in front of a high-rise apartment. The driver gets out carrying a box and walks to a door and rings the doorbell. Kristen Bergman voiceover.
The ones that had lost all faith from their lives being turned upside down.
A woman is shown crying as another woman hugs her. Beautiful trees are shown gently blowing in the wind. Kristen Bergman voiceover.
The ones that could use a taste of the angel's presence. Because they're the ones who are in the right plane of existence. The frequency closest to the veil that separates our physical bodies from the pure light we yearn to become part of.
2 years later, Michelle walks down the sidewalk past clothing shops, furniture shops, and finally by a candle store window. She stops and just looks at a candle in the window similar to the one that extended her daughter's life. She gives an understanding smile as a single tear rolls down her cheek.